most people would look at that and say that's the area where the most questions are going to come for you guys next year.
Yeah, defense in general, in that we got to play more people, and we were a little hamstrung a little bit last year, just by the nature of our personnel, if you will. But that's something we got to get that done. Because that affects your chemistry, your leadership, your morale, everything, and then it affects you down the stretch. I mean, we've got to play more people defensively, and the only way you can do that is you got to get more people ready. And the best way to do that is you have that type of competition that you need. And what was a strange year for us last year in that regard, whereas the year before it was just the opposite.
Wiggins back healthy?
Yeah, get Wiggins back. I mean, get all those guys, everybody back in the mix. And like I said, the year before we were still a top 10 defense, but defensively it's the chemistry, it's the leadership, it's the accountability, it's that, and that a lot of that will come with that competition. And we got to get better. We did some good things, but we gave too many big plays. I mean, I think we played 980 something snaps in defense and gave up about 4,600 yards or so. But over half of that came on 71 plays, like 2,500 yards on 71 plays. And so we've got to get that fixed. And I think the best way to do that is to establish that accountability like you need it to be, and you need the competition to do that. And so I think I like where we are defensively. I like our personnel. I really do. We got a few guys that I think will be able to get in the mix when they get in here. I'll be excited to get Xavier Kelly in here and add him into that defensive end formula. But I like the guys we have. I think we can be, really good once again. But we got a long way to go. But at safety, Corinne being down, he'll work at safety this spring. We know we can play the nickel, but we'll work him more at safety. Big spring for a lot of those guys. Van will go in as the starter. He and Jadar, and I feel really good about those two guys. Feel great about Tankersley and Mark Fields will kind of go in as the starter, and Baker kind of competing with those guys. And big spring for a guy like Chalmers, big spring for Carter, all those guys. Edmond, we got a good group over there. But back on safety, one of the things we're going to do to help us, Carter's going to work as the second team safety for us, because that's a natural position for him. He's a smart, instinctive, savvy football player. And so try to take advantage of Corinne not being in there and develop a little bit more depth there from our experienced guys. Because we got a lot of guys that have played. We just got to really kind of feel good about the corner position. We just got to hone in on that safety spot. Tanner Muse, he'll be a second team guy this spring going into it. Is he going to be ready to take that step? I saw some good strides from him in fall. He just wasn't quite ready. It's a complicated position, but I think we got the right people. We just got to go to work.
Will Carter double it all at corner? You think we'll just be used?
We're going to primarily, unless we have some injuries or something, we're going to primarily work him at that safety position this spring. We know he can play corner. He can play nickel, he can play dime. I mean, you can't do all those things if you're not a pretty salty player and instinctive, and that's what he is. But he has not worked a lot of safety, and so he played a lot of safety in high school. But we want to. He's the guy that can help us there. And Denzel, is another guy, long, athletic kid that can run. That's going to get a long look and a lot of opportunity this spring as well.
You said Corinne will work at safety. Is there any chance that he would be the nickel? Who do you think would project to start right now at nickel?
Dorian will be our starter at nickel Sam right now, and if we had to have a fifth DB type of guy, we know that Carter can go play that position, in his sleep. He understands what he's got to do, but we've got to develop some other guys for that role. Some of that will happen when we get some other guys on campus this summer, but we need Corinne, and Corinne was ready. Corinne was dialed in at safety last year, before he got hurt. He could play either spot. He's a smart kid, a smart football player, but the biggest thing with him is just getting back healthy, and but we're not really counting on him this spring. We just want him to continue to improve and get himself ready to go.
Yeah, but you talked about the guys coming in with more focus, more fire, knowing what they've been through. How did last year's experience, has last year's experience changed you at all and changed your perspective on what you do?
I think maybe just galvanize what we do a little bit more. I think just kind of confirmation of things I believe in, but change. I don't know about that. It's probably changed me in the eyes of other people, but it hasn't changed me as far as the things I believe in, and it just added more fuel to the fire, if you will, because I know how close we were. I felt like when you outrush people, outgain them, outsack them, out-tackle them, lost them, 9 times out of 10 you win. We didn't, and I know why, and it's my job to fix it.
Coach, given the issue of special teams last season, is there anything you changed in terms of your preparation in spring?
As far as preparation, not necessarily. As far as our structure, not really. I mean, we've got a good structure, but definitely, we've got to improve our kickoff coverage. There's no question about that, and we need to improve our return game. And so, I put a lot of work into that, a lot of study, a lot of research. Sent all of our tape to a couple people and brought in and spent a whole day, the whole staff, evaluating what we do, how we do it. A lot of it was confirmation. A lot of it was okay, maybe a new way to do something, teach something, say something. Some of it was personnel. Some of it was just guys not doing their job. It's a combination of all things. But I don't have any doubt that we're going to be greatly improved. We're going to be greatly improved. The main things, field goal, punt, and kickoff coverage. Those are things. Those are the priorities. As far those get you beat. They get you beat. I mean, in the return game, you can just let the ball lay down, you still get the ball. I mean, and you give it to number 4 and go play. But we've got to fix certain things, and we got a lot. Like kickoff coverage, for example, we greatly improved. We greatly improved from about middle of the season, and we kind of changed some things, and we greatly improved. We got better, and the kickoff coverage, even that, everybody talks about that. You know what? When I evaluate that, we were right where we were supposed to be. Their guy was better than our guys. It's that simple. And I don't have a problem with that. Like, I don't have a problem with another team making a play. That's football. We make plays too, and we made a lot of plays on them where they had the guys there. We had a 50-yard plus return as well. Our guys were there. We didn't make the play. Their guy's better than our guy. That's football. What bothers me is when we bust, and it's an uncompetitive play. Those are the things that we have to fix. The onside kick, great call, great play. You execute that maybe 2 out of 10 times, and it's about as good as it can be. But they only got the ball in -49. That ain't got nothing to do with us busting cover 3 2 plays later. Nothing to do with it. So there's about 5 plays in that game that have nothing to do with anybody but Clemson. And so that's what I always talk about is let's control what we control, and that's our focus. But from a special team standpoint, we're going to improve in kickoff coverage, and no doubt about it. And I feel very good about the things we've done in the off season to prepare to have a great spring, and same thing in the return game. I don't have any doubt about that either. Punt, we've been very solid around here and doing what we do, and I'm confident in that. Same thing with field goal block. But it's going to be a good process as we improve in all 3 phases starting today.
2 or 3 things you want to see from Deshaun to have him take it to another level?
Yeah, well, we always go through what we call our disaster report, and offensively, for example, it's fumbles, it's interceptions, it's sacks, it's tackles for loss, and we chart all of that, we track all that, we have comparative analysis from 6 years ago, and it's okay. We had 9 fumbles this year. Why? And how do we improve it? We had 15 interceptions. Why? I think Sean had 13, and the other two guys had 1 each. Why? Was it tip ball? Was it poor protection? Was it poor route? Was it a bad decision? You know, all these things. And so then we evaluate that, and then we same thing on the sacks. I think we only gave up 17 sacks this year, which is the lowest I've ever had. We coming into this year, all the previous we were giving up 1 sack per 17 passes. This year we gave up 1 per 35 passes, and but we gave up 17. So how many were on the offensive line? Not all 17. You know, I think we had 6 on the quarterback. All right, so you know, I mean, obviously he's a pretty good player, and he performed at a high level. You know, we went over 4,000 yards passing and 3,000 yards rushing, but how do we improve? And so then you take your running game, you take your passing game, and you look at the runs. Okay, inside zone's our best run. We average this, and this was our worst run, and why? And how do we make this better? How do we make this average higher? Here was our negative plays. Here's the things. Here was our tackles for loss. It was because of this, and this. And sometimes just on the coach, you know, make a bad call, whatever. But you evaluate all those things, and then you do it by position, and you break it down, and then you give the feedback to those players. And so, you know, the biggest thing for Deshaun is now that he's, you know, established himself like he has, it's really just grabbing hold of the guys and bringing them with him. Because nobody's going to work harder or prepare more than Deshaun Watson. That just ain't going to happen. So, all right, let's grab a couple of these guys and bring them with you, D-Dub. All right, let's have them in those, when you're in their meeting, let's bring a couple of these guys with you. So just that leadership, you know, footwork. You know, one of those plays in the national championship game, 2 plays. We had 2 on offense. 100% Clemson. We're up 3, fourth quarter. National championship game, ball's on the +40 going in. They really hadn't stopped us. First down, and we fumbled the exchange. So like when we go to spring ball and we're working ball drills, it matters, man. It's like national championship importance that we are flawless in our ball handling. All right, we had a play in the 3rd quarter. We're up 3. He didn't miss. It's the only pass he really missed. And we run a little sprint out. Renfro throws the guy down, and if Deshaun hits him, it's about a 50-yard touchdown. It's a walk-in. And fundamentally, he comes out, and he just not quite turned where he needs to be. He's off the back foot. What's to do? The ball floats. So like when we're working routes versus air, it's important that you are fanatical about your fundamentals and your technique. And why? Because it's national championship report. All right, it's the little things with a guy like him, and everybody's different. You know, some guys it's big things, but with him it's really just the little things and just really honing in on the details. And he does such a great job of that. And you know, it's just everybody buying into that. But he, you know, the leadership, the fundamentals, the footwork, just the ownership of the system going to even another notch. If you can imagine that, but there is another notch for him, and that's what our job as coaches is to challenge him and push him in that regard. And that process has already started, but he's an easy guy to deal with because his expectations. I mean, you can't out-expect Deshaun. I mean, he is a driven, focused guy. He's going to graduate in December, 3 years. That's all you need to know about him. With the platform that he's got, the demands and the expectations that are on him. Him to be able to manage all that other stuff and to be able to graduate in 3 years, that's just who he is.
You guys always talk about having 10 guys on offensive line. Is it realistic to expect that there's for that workable second group, or is it going to be a lot of mix and match?
Oh no. We're going to have great depth in our offensive line. That's the best part of our team this past year. I never worried. The year before, oh my God, it was. I mean, y'all know Reed played 5 positions.